Hello.
We're back.
Did you miss
Like,
us?
just seconds ago.
Forever. Well, yeah, you say seconds, but they're going to see the preview on Wednesday, and then this is going to come on Friday, so it's going to be days.
Yes, it's true.
And days, and we missed you because it was awful. Those days apart. Okay, so I'll pause.
So today we are talking about the New Jersey Devil, or the Jersey Devil, and probably we'll also mention the Pine Barrens in there a little bit.
But we're not talking about pawpaws.
We're not talking about pawpaws.
Not talking about pawpaws.
Not right now.
No. So there is some interesting backstory on the Jersey Devil.
Yes.
Some very
intrigue.
Yes, some extreme intrigue. So I discovered, first off, the first time I heard of the New Jersey Devil was on a show called The Lost Tapes on Animal Planet. Okay. And it has also been on Paranormal State did an episode on it. And then there's this show called Colossal Mysteries that's aimed at children. It's like a kid show.
Nice.
And they did an episode on it. And they had some interesting information that I did not know. So apparently there was this gentleman named Daniel Leeds, I believe.
Was it Daniel or David?
Daniel or David. I just put D. Leeds because of course
Daniel. It was Daniel.
Okay.
Daniel and his son.
So he's like publishing his little almanac back in the day in the 1700s, and the Quakers were not fans. They thought that he had like these celestial charts and things in there, and they thought that they were too pagan. And this is all going to be relevant, I promise. They thought that these were too pagan, and so they started burning his books and things like that. And then he got the reputation as being very satanic, witchy, whatever. He was not good. So of course now that transfers onto his family.
Well, he was interested in the occult too.
He was interested in the occult. But now along comes Benjamin Franklin.
Freaking Benjamin Franklin.
Mr. Leeds passed he just finally had enough. And he passed his business, his almanac, onto his son. And his name was Titan Leeds, which is a great name. Yeah. So now Benjamin Franklin and his Poor Richard's Almanac is in competition with Titan Leeds and his Leeds Almanac. And so to boost his subscriptions, Benjamin Franklin he like predicted dude's death. He's like, he's going to die on this date at this time. And it was a joke. Benjamin Franklin apparently was not a nice guy.
No, I mean, honestly, he was kind of a dick to Titan Leeds.
Yeah, he was mean, right?
I mean, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
In retrospect.
Yeah. And so Titan Leeds is like, no, he's a liar and a fool. And so,
he said it just like that.
It was like, Benjamin Franklin writes, my dear friend Titan Leeds is such a gentleman, and he would never say such unkind things about me. That must be the spirit that has possessed his body. And so he started referring to him as the ghost of Titan Leeds.
Yeah, he was saying that the ghost was actually communicating from beyond the grave.
Yes. And so that his body was just walking around, and it wasn't him in there. And then Titan died.
Yeah, like
and Benjamin Franklin he kept on with the joke. He kept talking about the ghost of Titan Leeds. Now, because of all of this, the Quakers, Benjamin Franklin, and ghosts and such, the Leeds family has this reputation of being like occultist, witchy, Satanist people, right?
Well, they were also royalists.
They were royalists, and from what I understand,
Crest
the Mrs. Leeds that this is referring to I'm going to get to the family crest after a moment.
Yeah.
The Mrs. Leeds that this is referring to, who is the mother of the Jersey Devil, was also, I think, a midwife or an herbalist. So she was considered the witch Leeds as well. So now, Mrs. Leeds, I don't know which wife she was of which man, but she finds herself pregnant for the 13th time. And the legend has it that she was really upset, and she said, well, let it be the devil. I'm like, who says this shit?
Basically, said it can go to hell.
No, her words, like as recorded, were "let it be the devil." Yeah, and so now the baby's born, right? According to now, here's where we get into the alternate stories because there's several alternate stories.
Yep.
According to some stories, when the baby was born, it had a long forked tail, bat wings, and like the face of a goat and the head of a dog, or the face of a horse and the head of a dog, and it had horns. Others say that the baby was born normal, but as it grew these features. Now, then they say the baby just like started screeching these blood-curdling screeches at some point, flew up into the window and flew off into the Pine Barrens, never to be seen again, except for that it was seen again a lot.
Yeah.
Now, here's where the family crest comes in, right? It could be just that this child was born deformed and people didn't like these people. And they were like, oh, well, obviously their child was a monster. Look at their family crest. Because on their family crest, they had 3 different creatures that have big claws, bat-like wings. There's like a griffin and an eagle and a dragon, and everything is like monster, rah, rah, rah. All right, so this is 1735 that this is alleged to happen.
Yep.
So the baby grew up into this devil monster, and it has been sighted ever since 1735, and there are still sightings today. It terrorizes chicken coops and destroys them, or else it'll wander into towns and just trash, like they'll do property damage in towns or whatever. Some people say, here's another alternative facts things. Some people say it's over 6 feet tall, like maybe 8 feet tall, and it's just this monstrous thing. Other people are like, no, at most it's 3 feet tall. It's like a really angry chicken, you know?
A really angry chicken messed up
really
my
angry
yard.
Chicken. Yeah. But people just blame all sorts of bad stuff on it. Like they say it'll make your crops fail, your cows will stop producing milk, things like that. So they called it up until the 1900s the Leeds Devil. It didn't become the New Jersey Devil until like 1909. But then, so that's the Leeds family origin story.
Yep.
There's 2 others. One of them, they're not as detailed, so I kind of feel like the Leeds story is probably the most obvious story.
There's variations on the Leeds story too.
Right, but it has the most detail, and it
yeah.
kind of there's variations, but it kind of sticks to the same theme.
Mm-hmm.
The other stories are, one of them say that this young woman, this was during the time of the American Revolution, and royalists were frowned on, but this young lady fell in love with a British soldier and ended up pregnant. And yeah, the town found out and they cursed her. And obviously the baby was born in sin, so it was gonna have something wrong with it anyway. The other story is that there was a gypsy woman and she was begging for food. And this young woman passed her and was like, I'm not helping you. And the gypsy woman cursed her. And then many years later, when this had been forgotten, the woman marries and has a child, and the child is the little angry chicken. Um, what's interesting about it, though, right? People have, there's been a lot of sightings of the Jersey Devil, and people find it terrifying. That people have seen it along the New Jersey Parkway. People have seen it obvious or in the Garden State Parkway. People have obviously seen it in the Pine Barrens because that's where it lives.
Yeah, that's where
But it goes all the way from, it starts it out, this is like southern Jersey is like its area.
Yeah.
But it does go all the way as far north as the northern tip of Jersey.
It also goes into Pennsylvania, as
yes.
far west as Downingtown.
Right. Well, here's what else is interesting. At one point in January 1909, and this is when it became the Jersey Devil, from January 16th to January 23rd, just in that 6-7 day period, there were hundreds of sightings of the Jersey Devil. And it wasn't just like Billy Jim Joe Bob who was full of his whiskey. It was
it's full of the moonshine.
yeah, he wasn't full of the shine. This was like the police, government officials, judges, respected towns members were seeing it. And then I watched something, and they actually had some really grainy old photos, and I don't know if it was an artist's depiction of a photo or if it was an actual photo from 1909. But there's some black and white photos where it looks like all it is you can see like a silhouette, right? And it looks like somebody's trying to portray like Dracula in bat form almost, because you can see like a little head, and then it's just like wings, and then it's just black. So I don't know if it's an artist depiction, if it's a hoax photo, what the deal is. But now, so there were those hundreds of sightings, and that was like the most that it's been seen. But they were taking it seriously. Like they closed schools, they closed local businesses because they were like, danger, danger, danger. At that, there was a reward for $10,000 for this thing, dead or alive. So, of course, there's always those people. Somebody took a kangaroo body. Yes. They painted green stripes on the body of a kangaroo, and they attached wings and claws to it and tried to turn it in for the reward. To me, that's the funniest part of this entire story. Like, really, my dude, really? Like, that's worse than the remember the Bigfoot in the gorilla suit that was just like steaks that were frozen? Yeah. Like, okay. But one of the theories that I saw was that maybe the New Jersey Devil was created so the kids wouldn't wander off into the Pine Barrens and to keep them safe. Like it was a mom's tale, like, don't go out or the boogeyman's going to get you. Like their boogeyman was the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
I mean, anything's possible, but there's some really cool stuff about this. Napoleon Bonaparte, his brother, Joseph, was the king of Spain. Allegedly, he saw it while he was hunting near Bordentown, New Jersey.
Yep.
NewJersey.gov, NJ.gov, has a part of its webpage dedicated to the Jersey Devil.
That's awesome.
And, hold on, it is the only official state demon in the country. From what I saw, it doesn't really attack people so much as it just kind of menaces them and like scares them, but it will attack like small animals and property.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything about it attacking people, but it sounds scary. One thing that you and I both saw though that was funny is that back in the 1900s, people were misidentifying animals a lot, a lot, a lot. And there is a possibility because of the way people are describing it. They're describing it as a biped animal with long back legs, and then it has these wings and like this awkward body and a tail, and then this really long head. And it's possible that it might be a crane.
A sandhill crane.
Sand with the long body and the wings and the tail
Yeah.
and that weird long face.
And
Yep.
if you don't know what you're looking at, those things are scary when you get up close to them.
Yeah, exactly. And imagine like you see it, you're in the woods and it's dusk, right?
Oh yeah, which is when they come out. I mean,
Yeah.
they're all over the place.
And dusk in the woods, if you're not used to being out in the woods, I'm sure it's scary for people. Like your eyes can play tricks on you there because of the shadows and everything else. So, I mean, and what if it's just like a really weird puffed up raccoon?
With wings.
I mean, it could be anything.
It could totally be. And I mean, it's the Pine Barrens, so they're already creepy.
Well, and see, here's the thing. There's a lot of space in the Pine Barrens and in the United States, in the world, really, that as much as we think we have explored the world, we haven't. Now, I'm not saying I believe in like civilizations living under the Earth's crust or whatever, but there's probably some stuff that we don't know about wandering around the world.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I mean,
so it's a possibility.
Get into the quantum physics aspect of things. Maybe there's vortex.
Exactly. And we did just fine, like not just fine, but there have been species that were thought to be extinct that they're finding again.
Mm-hmm.
That we only knew from fossils. So,
and there have been pterodactyl sightings over Pennsylvania and Ohio to this day.
That's right. And what if the Jersey Devil's a pterodactyl?
I mean, it sounds like it could be. It's got the bipedal, it's got the long, crazy tail, and
and then that's the other thing for the crane theory, right? People say that it gives off a blood-curdling screech.
Oh yeah, cranes are loud.
Yeah, and I bet you a pterodactyl's not exactly quiet either.
Not when they're picking up a sheep.
It's a pterodactyl crane.
It is. It could be.
With rabies from a raccoon bite. But the only thing is...
feral cat.
Yeah.
Feral cat.
That's me. The only thing is, though, is this story has been going on, and these sightings have been going on for, like, over 250 years. So... like, that's a long time for one little angry chicken baby to live.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a breeding population. Maybe people are seeing more than one, because it does go throughout the whole state.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely more than one, and it probably is some sort of crane species that we haven't discovered yet. If not the pterodactyl from Pennsylvania.
There could be a pterodactyl from Pennsylvania.
It's true. So let us know what you think down in the comments. Pterodactyl, crane, Jersey Devil, and what do you think? Angry chicken baby? Or, tell us your stories about Pine Barrens, because there are 3 Pine Barrens located on the east coast of the United States. Massachusetts, New Jersey, and Long Island, New York.
Which I happen to live right in the Pine Barrens. Because you can go out my street and go up the block, and you have to go through a little portion of the Pine Barrens to get out of my neighborhood, and it's the only way out.
And going into the New Jersey Pine Barrens, it's a 2-lane highway. That's it, and it's creepy. It's really creepy driving through there.
It's really funny because my son's adventurous little dude, right? And he'll go and he'll play anywhere. And he does not want to walk in those woods even with me.
Yeah, they got a weird vibe. And I mean, in your Pine Barrens, Tesla set up the prototype for the World Wide Web. So,
Because, like you do, where else are you going to put
as
it?
one does. Well, I mean, Long Island's got a whole lot of. I mean, we could do an entire episode just on Long
Could
Island.
do it on
We
weird Long
should.
Island, but we're doing weird New Jersey today.
Well, yes,
So,
but not officially weird New Jersey, because that's probably
right, because that's a magazine and it's copyrighted. But yeah, so
We're doing Bizarro New Jersey.
yeah, Bizarro New Jersey, like the Devil's Tower.
Ah, yes, which will be our next episode. We will talk about the Devil's Tower of Alpine, New Jersey. So
Dun, dun, dun.